Hello. I'd like to discuss growth. I don't mean height or weight, spiritual, mental growth. I recommend you see a therapist. You don't need to be mentally ill to see a therapist. A lot of people are afraid to see a therapist because they're afraid to be labeled mentally ill. And it is a concern. It's a real concern. I can't I can't lie to you. They get somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,000 a shot that you have to take every month the rest of your life. So there's a lot of incentive for them to label you mentally ill, whether you are or not. Because the shot kills you early. You won't live to 90. You might not make it to 80 if you get the shot at a young age. And and they don't care about that. They make their money. They don't care if you live or die. All they care about is making the money. So there is a real concern, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be concerned. Um, but you need to find a therapist and work on yourself. Um, you know, and this goes for me too. I mean, I'm not speaking at you, I'm speaking with you. And, you know, I had a therapist for 8 years and I fired her because I found out I couldn't trust her. And, it was very disheartening. I was not happy about it. But the 8 years was not a waste. I did a I did a lot of good for myself in those 8 years. Um, and that's the thing. Therapy is not a one visit thing. Um, it's like planting a seed and waiting for it to turn into a redwood. It takes a long time. It takes a long time. A redwood seed is pretty big, but yeah, not compared to a redwood tree. And it takes a long time. And you have to have patience. And you have to be in it for the long haul. And there will be moments when you go through this therapy that you will feel crazy because you're working through the problems. You're working through the abuse, and we all were abused as children, and you can't escape that. But you continually abuse yourself on a daily basis with the effects as the effect of being abused, and you need to stop that. And you can only stop that through therapy. And you know, it's like quitting alcohol or quitting drugs. You can't you can't do something every day for years and years and then just stop and say I'm never going to do that again. I learned my lesson. I mean, some people have done it. It doesn't mean they're better off because they did it. They could be mentally screwed, you know. And I'm not saying they are. Some people, like I said, have done it, but I don't know that you're one of them. And I'm not saying you have a drug problem or an alcohol problem, but I wouldn't be surprised if you had emotional problems, uh, ego problems. I mean, everybody has a problem. I don't want to try to pinpoint it. That's up to you. I don't know who you are, but I have a covert narcissist mother. I had an emotionally detached father, and they abused me in my childhood. I was abused, and it showed up in a drug addiction, and dropping out of school at 13. Uh, you know, It wasn't a picnic. I live alone now. I have absolutely no family and have no friends either. And that's okay. Um, I'm used to that. And that's not why I went to therapy. Mm. I found my peace in therapy. Um, and I think you can see if you watch my videos, I'm pretty much at peace. I mean, I have some pretty crazy videos out there, but for the most part, if you took a look at all of them, you would say I'm peaceful. And it didn't come overnight, and it won't come overnight for you either. You know, if you're looking for love, um, start looking in the mirror. Because until you love what you see in the mirror, you'll never find love outside of that. You know, you don't go to a spot in your town where they sell crack on the corner. I don't know if they don't do that no more. They have cell phones, but go with the metaphor. You know, go to a spot where they sell crack on the corner, looking for love. You know, you're not going to find love unless you love crack, and you'll go there and you find crack, and that'll be your love. But that's sick love, and that's not what I'm talking about. So if you want love, you have to find love within yourself, and then the right people will just gravitate towards you. You won't need to search them out. You won't need to go on an app. You'll find love. You'll find love at the supermarket. You'll find love all over where you go. If you did the work and you fix yourself. Now you're also going to find hate because people are going to realize you're fixed and you're better. And they're going to think you think you're better than them. And they're going to attack you. They're going to verbally attack you. They may even physically attack you. But that's because they're sick, not because you're sick. And you can't not do it because of those reasons. I've been beaten up many a times, uh, and by sick people, and I didn't bring it on. I didn't do anything. I was just sitting there, and they attacked me. And like I said, there's sick people, and there are a lot of sick people in the world. But look, how many people get robbed going to the bank, going to an ATM? Do you not go to an ATM? You probably went to an ATM today. You know, you still do it, and that's why you have to go to therapy. Because even though you might get beat up for it, you still have to work on yourself, and the right people will find you. And if the right people don't find you, and it's not gonna, like I said, it's not gonna happen quickly. So you're gonna think that the right people aren't gonna find you, and for a while, you're gonna say this ain't working, but it is working. You'll be better off by yourself. You'll be you'll be more able to handle being by yourself. Um, you won't want toxic people in your life. You won't invite them in. You won't keep them in. You'll get rid of them. You'll cut them off. But just the most important thing I can say is patience, patience, and there's no coincidences. You were brought to this video for a reason, and you're still here for a reason. And if you are, just know that I spoke to you, and I spoke to a part of you that most people don't. And I touched you in a way that nobody has ever touched you before. I gave you the truth. You're not a bad person. You're a sick person. And even if you did bad things, I've done bad things, but I'm not a bad person. I was sick. I was on drugs, and you know, and nobody's gonna forgive you until you forgive yourself. And that's why you have to go to therapy. You have to learn how to forgive yourself. And don't go to a priest. Don't go to a church. Go to a real therapist. And don't get a welfare therapist, somebody that collects, that takes no money. You get what you pay for. Get a good therapist. And really put in the work. Because it'll pay off in so many ways I can't list them. But if you don't do it, your life will get worse. Much worse. It'll spiral down and you'll find yourself in a room, and I don't want to tell you what's going to happen if you don't, but it's not going to be good. So, you want to save yourself? Fix yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody cares about you the way you need to care about you. And until you do, you'll blame the world. Start blaming yourself and fixing the things you blame yourself for, whether they're true or not. And most likely they're not. Most likely you're being too hard on yourself. But that's between you and your therapist, not me.